Hi, Gene here with today's thought. Well, it all started, as we all know, with Bud Light. When Bud Light put Anheuser-Busch, the parent company, put a gender dysphoric on their beer can. I still don't understand why they did it, but I thought at the time this would be something that just people would talk about, or there would be articles, maybe a protest, and then it would die out. But as we all know, that hasn't happened. The beer, we'll get to this more in a moment, but Bud Light's beer sales, and it's not just Bud Light, it looks like it's affecting Budweiser too, you'll see in a moment. But, or you already saw if you very carefully looked at the thumbnail to this vlog, but it's spreading. Now, well, we all know now about Target. Target was selling Pride clothing to, I mean, if you want to sell that to adults, that's one thing, but little for children. And they last time I checked, their sales were either the sales or the value of the company, I don't know, one way or another they are down $10 billion. And as far as I know, it's getting worse. And now Kohls has done the same thing. Kohls has been marketing Pride clothing for kids, onesies, I guess they call them, the little that an infant wears, that a baby wears. You know, it's like a little sleeper pajamas with the little feet already on it. Anyways, I hope maybe you know better than I do what a onesie is. Anyway, because I wear twosies. Anyway, the Kohls. The only thing that's really surprised me is Miller Lite. I showed you in an earlier vlog this woke feminist commercial or something that was done for Miller Lite. But as far as last I heard, their sales are actually going up. People who were drinking Budweiser Light switched to Miller Lite. My advice, I guess, if you're believing this, if you want to fight this wokeness, that you might want to try Coors Light, because I don't think Coors is on the bandwagon for this, even if it costs a little more. But the main point I want to get to is, well, let me show you Bud Light first. Here's a photo. This is one of several photos that have been on the internet on just the show. Memorial Day, you want to have barbecues, you want to have a beer. Just look at this photo. You can see that the shelves are almost completely empty. Most of the beer is gone except for the Bud Light and the Budweiser, but especially the Bud Light. You can look at all those unsold cases. And apparently South Africa, not about the beer, all the way to South Africa, there are Budweiser t-shirts, and those are marked down 30%. So even the t-shirts aren't selling, at least in South Africa. So the point I'm making is, I wonder what Bud Light did, whether, as I said in the title to this vlog, they've awakened a sleeping giant, which would be the so-called silent majority. That term was coined by Richard Nixon in his, I think, his second presidential election. I don't remember which campaign. Anyways, he coined the term silent majority, which is, well, most of us, just most people you see, such as the people, these kids who are these narcissistic, nihilist kids who throw tomato soup or paint on great works of art, to protest or block traffic, sit down in the middle of the road to protest climate change. So they're making all the noise, and maybe that's part of what's inspiring these major corporations to make these stupid moves, because as the old saying goes, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. But you have to remember, a car, for instance, has four wheels. So if you put grease on the squeaky wheel, but the other three wheels just fall off or go away, then your car's not going anywhere. So that's what's happening. I hope, and it looks increasingly like this silent majority. Because most people are just quiet. I lived in New York for 40 years, and you'd see all these massive demonstrations against Donald Trump or this or that, but you don't see conservative demonstrations so much because most of us we get up and we go to work. Our parents aren't supporting us. We're not living in our parents' basement. But eventually, as happened with Richard Nixon, it was 19. Yeah, it was the '68 campaign. I think the Chicago riots, the Chicago Democratic Convention, and the riots in the street that took place outside the convention, and that was very visible. It was on all the TV, news shows. Today they would probably suppress it maybe and not even show it, but they did then, and that triggered. I think that was a trigger that triggered the anger in the silent majority and got them to speak up. And so maybe this Dylan Mulvaney. Dysphoric being on a beer can might have started something. I'm hoping it does, and that the corporations take notice. So and change their policies. And that's it for today. That's my thought. Thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would be great. But in any case, I look forward to seeing all of you again. And until I do, bye.